Greetings, viewers, and welcome back to Heart of the Machine, where we are in trouble. There are 10 enemies planning attacks as a counterattack to our mining efforts, where we have been stealing minerals from Lurpenko, it looks like, at the Thortpatite skimmer. So this Thortpatite skimmer, it doesn't tell us who owns it, but they have counterattacked on one of our towers, and we do not have any deterrence in this area. The only thing over here is Combat Unit Red, and it looks like they're attacking a generator here to do very little damage. They're spending most of their attacks at attacking our mainframes. And it's actually going to get destroyed if we don't do something drastic here. Combat Unit Red might be able to draw some attention, but he's actually out of range of the majority of the group. There is one in his range though, and it looks like 2 attacks there would take out this military sniper. That's probably all we're going to get out of Combat Unit Red. We also have a Predator who isn't quite in the area, but his range is way shorter. So he'd have to run in and do a melee attack dive, which would spend 1 point for him, and then his next attack might be better. Like, it probably takes 2 attacks to kill this group of 44 grenadiers. So that's 2 points, and this is it's also very far for him because it's 2 mental energy. We also have the capacity to build another Predator, and these guys are within our build range. So I think that's the first play. And then Predators, right now, are armed with shotguns that do a little bit of fear for the next 2 turns. So we can do 42% morale damage to these guys, or if we horrify, 97 morale damage. So horrify attacks from these guys are actually pretty reasonable. So let's start with this guy. He's got 3 attacks. There's a 76 in there. One of these guys down on the floor are going to be easy, so we'll start with them. Let's look at this guy. That's only a squad of 7 on the other hand, but it is a sniper, but it's the one attacking this thing we don't care about. This guy here is attacking us. Alright, so we've got a sniper on us. Let's destroy that, and then this other one is probably a sniper also. Squad of 7 there. So it looks like these small squads aren't going to be that troublesome to take out. Let's take out the first one here with Combat Unit Red. We should be doing horrify damage first. I think I had that backwards, yeah. So horrify will put a debuff on them, but we'll be able to take them out anyway with a single horrify. It looks like we have 3 here to spend, so let's take out the snipers. Turn their attention to Combat Unit Red, so obviously we need to protect him. And that made them turn their attention to us. We are taking a little damage. I only think there's one left who's shooting at us. They're still exploding a tower over here, but it's taking much less damage. Although that's an area effect, so that's terrible. But this secondary tower, they're definitely destroying that. Unless we can do some more damage. But we are shooting at snipers, so we're not going to drop the damage on that tower. And we failed to kill that sniper somehow. They are horrified, but they have a lot of health left. So somehow that attack went wrong, and I don't understand why. Combat Red does have another point to spend, so he could dive in there and sacrifice himself. Obviously going to be attacked for doing that. And we have 1 mental energy left, so we're not going to be using it on him. That was a sacrifice. The tower is still going to die. Damn, it was not a worthy sacrifice either. We can't buff any mental energy into anyone. The only thing we can really do is spend a point to get this predator a little closer. We're gonna lose a tower there. I don't think that is going to affect us too much. These do provide a little bit of power, but we've already built the generators, which compensate easily for the loss of those things. So we'll jump as close as it lets us. It looks like we can get on a building over here. And then, yeah, 6 left. This is going to be painful. It is our, probably like the first time in a long time we've taken enough damage to lose a building. Ah, and it didn't go away. What? Oh, it has been destroyed. Wow, okay, that's interesting. It has been destroyed, but doesn't really show it. I guess the fact that it has a skull on it. Odd. Okay, we also lost combat unit red, so that was pretty heavy losses. Let's see if we can get these predators to deliver some payback. They're attacking a secondary tower here. And they're back on our mainframe, so the ones targeting our mainframe are the priority. It looks like these two. If we horrify this, it is a 76%. If we shoot them out right, 77%. This other one is 81%, and this one just out of range. So we'll try this one at 81% first to do more damage. And then we'll take the second shot to put them out. They picked up a new target. Another one is now shooting at it. And it's definitely destroying that mainframe. Let's target these guys. The best shot here is that 79%. So one more there. And then we have another predator in range. But before he fires, I think these things take 2 mental energy. So we want to be sure we have 2 mental energy left. But no, we don't have enough capacity. We only have 14 capacity. Those take 16. The Nickelbot might be in range. Unfortunately, he is not. And we have another combat unit, but that combat unit is way out of range. So it would be best to probably get rid of the damaged combat unit and bring a predator in. Combat unit is worth 12 points. We need 2 more. So that's kind of a hefty price to pay, but what else can we do? We could also bring in a mech. Well, look, mechs do cost 3,000 Neodymium, so that's quite a lot, but we are doing this battle so that we can generate more Neodymium income, and we're getting quite a bit per turn. These androids only cost 800. I think that sounds like a reasonable plan. Look at that, 12,000 turrets on a mech, and there was a recent change to how mechs work. Well, first off, just getting that mech anywhere near a military compound puts it in danger, so be aware of that. They also take a lot of space. But hopefully they're hard to destroy. I think we can put him here. I'm not sure what the range on this guy is going to be. Maybe we want him close to start. Alright, we'll bring it in a mech. Here it is. This is our new boy. It is the Hellfire C658, an A11 Hellfire. The recent change to mechs makes it so you just move them exactly the same way you move androids, which is so much better. That is huge. It also, you can see that he can move there, but he's going to destroy the buildings he lands on, so that's what you have to be aware of mechs. He might even just like charge a straight line. I don't think so. I think he probably jumps. So we've got a Hellfire, or his name is Hellfire. He is a Hellfire. Hellfire C658. Can he shoot? That's the real question. What kind of gear does he have? He can use consumable items and no augments, so I'm not quite sure how to attack with him. There we go, 67. Okay, it looks like melee only with this guy. I see. Or is he firing some kind of nuke? That looks like it's a... Maybe it's just a missile. Okay, so he fires missiles. Large bore armor piercing rounds. Okay, I see that. So he's really going to be better as a vehicle support but he can do some damage. Like, that's a 187 on this squad of 27 ablaters. Those guys aren't shooting at anything, so I'd rather get these grenadiers down here. 100% health, that's a shot that takes 1 action point of 3 and obliterates one of the enemies. I like seeing that more. So that was a pretty good value. I think there was one more we can shoot up here. And he has one more action. We are out of predator actions, and we're out of mental energy, so did we lose the tower? Yep, we did indeed. Taking a little damage. That losing that tower will drop our neural expansion a little bit, but not enough to drop us out of class 4. We're already 7 million, almost 8 million into class 4, so we're getting our neural expansion from another timeline, I think, is what's happening. The end of the turn, anything we want to do? Well, the only thing it's really suggesting we build is some more power, which, yeah, power is the competitor for Neodymium. We just used 3,000 to make a mech. We need 4,100 to make another geothermal well. Right now we've got a lot of surplus power though, so I'm sure it's just the game knows that we're going to need more, so it is suggesting we make more. Alright, turn 23 advancing to turn 24 here. It looks like secondary tower is now being rebuilt. That's a new construction, and we did lose one of the tower mainframes from these jerks. Unfortunately, it also looks like a new slew of jerks arrived. I bet what's happening... Where did we install those things? So we installed some skimmers. Yeah, they should be right here. Yeah, there they are. Okay. We installed these skimmers. Thorptite skimmer gives us neodymium and scandium. The bauxite skimmer gives us alumina and bastnasite. And what just happened that I knew was coming, but sort of may have forgotten. That bastnasite skimmer just came on, and there are a lot more enemies coming for us. Luckily, we have some repair spiders, but ouch, we may lose some droids here. Our Hellfire C658 is in the thick of things, and yeah, they're blowing him up. He's attracted a lot of attention. He does have 3 moves though, so maybe he can save himself. It looks like these guys are going to go down for the most part, although yeah, they're all shooting at him. Nearby, yeah, nearby is good. So yeah, the mech's fun, but it may have been a waste of cash. I think we got it just in time as those reinforcements arrived, which yeah, I completely forgot they were coming, even though I set it up on purpose. Alright, that's everything that he had. He's 134% damage. It's possible that these predators can pull off a save, but we'll see. It looks like actually there's only 4 incoming, and this is one of them. Alright, and I think... Nope, he's still dying. They added some more firepower to him. It's here, here... Ooh, that is a shot we can take, but it is a jump in close. That might actually be worth it. Maybe not. I think we might die if we do that. Instead, let's jump in just a little closer. Are we getting a height bonus for this? Yeah, we're not getting a height bonus for the attacks here, so you know what? I'm gonna do it. We'll risk a predator. Yeah, he's gonna die now, of course, but wow, I didn't think it would be this fast, honestly. So we have one more attack there. We're basically trading out 2 of our predators unless I do the right thing this time. Unfortunately, we have a range problem. I don't think jumping in is the solution, despite what happened with the last guy. But yeah, now we can get some shots on. So here we do 40% damage. If we switch to Horrify, it's 78%. We have an 85 here. I think we're going to, a 119 here. But that guy is not shooting at anyone that I can see. Military sniper, yeah, that guy's not even firing, so I'd rather take something out that was shooting. I think that 85 is our best chance. That guy is shooting at this predator, so that could help. And let's see, we'll take him out. Are we all dying? Did I really move us into a position where all predators die? Well, that was probably a bad move on my part. Here's a shot. That's the one that's not shooting though. Okay, so we're down to 1 mental energy left, but I think I did lose everything this turn, which is wow. These guys were tougher than they looked. This guy close by, maybe? No, 78%. And regular shots are much less. So yeah, we need to buff these guys up. I think switching to the rifles might help, but we have a couple turns to go before we get there. Sorry, guys. Alright, that's it. We're gonna lose them all. Well, we can rebuild. It's okay. We do have deterrents waiting in the wings. We're just going to lose a few of these secondary towers, which we can easily rebuild. Probably takes 2 turns, it looks like, if I'm reading that right. Yeah, so oops, let's get some more predators out there. I think we're going to skip the mech next time. Our deploy radius is pretty close to these guys. We do want to kind of be right on the verge of their range so that they don't kill us as easily next time. Horrify attack on this seems good. And then, did they change targets to us? Yeah, this one's now targeting us. Military sniper here. Yeah, we can horrify him out. Good. That's the way it's supposed to go, and now we're not... Oh, we're still losing a tower. Wow, they hit pretty hard. There's an ablator there and another one there. 2 squads. One is 44, and this one here is 86. So I bet we can take out... it's actually surprising how that damage works. These guys only have 377 health, and we're going to... Oh, it's morale. 778 morale versus these guys 770 morale. Okay, so these guys must have seen something before because their morale is slightly lower, so they take slightly more damage. The tower is still going down. I think we have enough for one more, but we are out of neural weave. Oh, this could be a disaster. We do have Nickelbot. Let's bring Nickelbot into play. 4 mental energy. Can we get a discount by bringing him with a vehicle? Or did we lose the vehicle? Did I lose the vehicle too? Yes, it looked... Oh no, there's the Das Eagle. Okay. Now the Das Eagle is just way out there, so kind of out of the question right now. We're just really out of position for these counterattacks this time. Okay, so it's to get in range. This guy is wielding the M2 Gallant right now, and it has a +6 to range. That's not the greatest. He's also got Oath of Pacifism, so we're relying on fear attack power with these. I think that's okay. Yeah, it's just the range is what I'm questioning. So his total range is 24, which I think is out to the purple. Yeah, the purple line ish. I'm not sure. So we're gonna move him here for 2. That'll leave us with 2 attacks that he can perform. Yeah, and there's his range, much easier to see now. And these are not fear attacks. Oh wait. Yeah, I guess they're not. These are... No, he's Oath of Pacifism, so these are morale attacks. Although the wavy lines there, I'm not sure. I don't think it actually matters, but we'll hit this guy. And then that was nice to get another kill before the turn was out. We're still, no, we're not losing that tower. We're not losing that tower. Okay, so I think we beat the odds there. And they didn't kill Spike. Wow. Yeah, we have to go take a look at Spike after this all done. Now I'm very angry. I didn't realize you were shooting weapons so close to Spike's home. We do have another shot here. We'll just stick a 34 or a 37. This guy is hitting too close to Spike. And the other thing I forgot that this Nickelbot is doing for us with the Gallant is Nickelbot is giving us pinned down by suppressing fire on these guys, which drops both their attack range and movement range. So if we'd brought the Nickelbot in sooner, we probably could have saved the mech. Oops. Yeah, sorry, that was a terrible combat, but learning lessons, we'll get through it. Spike's still okay. So we're going to start with the Predator because Horrify attack. There's an Ablator there doing with a squad of 44, a Grenadier here with a squad of 56. Probably best to take the Grenadiers out first because of their area. There's another smaller squad of Grenadiers and another one there. So that's all that's left, I think. Let's get this guy first. And then we'll get this guy, I guess. And then we'll leave the rest to you. Hopefully you can do something better. 35 and 34, huh? Guess we're only losing one of these. I mean, taking out one of these. 90% damage on that. And this other guy is attacking the building that's already been destroyed. Not so fast, buddy. Okay, 1, 2, and wow. Three shots to take one out. This Grenadier's still alive, but because of the range reduction, he's not able to attack anything. I like it. That is a nice outcome of using the M2 Glant. Okay, that is kind of the danger pass. There's one guy there. We'll mop him up next turn. Let's think about what we're doing more long term. We are clearing the ladder. That's our main project. This is, yeah, we basically have to go out and horrify a bunch of the NPCs. Although, why are they not showing up under just normal street sense? I'm not sure. Okay, they show up under contemplations. That's interesting. So normally I would expect that to show up under street sense and be project related, but for some reason, for this project, they just stay in contemplation. Yeah, so we have to scare these guys. Wealthy citizen there. We can do it with anybody, it turns out. We can use a regular combat unit, right? He will horrify you. Watch, he's going to lose his blending in, I bet. He didn't. Okay, well, there's another one here. Ooh, actually, the horrify looks like it alerted some Vorsiber soldiers nearby. Okay, didn't expect that. These guys are immune to horrify attacks, and there's bots also. Those things are also immune to horrify attacks. So, yeah, oops. It turns out our combat units aren't really set up correctly to fight these. I guess they are. They are doing a lot of fear, but we're gonna have to turn off their Oath of Pacifism to fight the Vorsiber troops around here. Could give them optical processing priority for the expanded range, or we could just go straight for Rage Circuit, and hey, they could get really mad. But for some reason that makes them less scary. Okay, I'm not sure why. Shoulder-mounted rockets are always an option. I don't think we need those. I think we're just going to go to optical processing priority. Combat units are... bulk combat units are now capable... more than capable of defending, which means this Nickelbot's going to die, this Nickelbot's going to die, and yeah, this guy gets closer, he'll probably die, but he's out of range because we only have 2. We do have an attack here. I think we're going to turn off Horrify attacks on you also, because you can't really fight Vorsiber like that. Your Oath of Pacifism has expired, so probably also optical processing priority, although giving you the higher agility, maybe we'll do that just in case. That gives you movement range. I think we're probably going to keep you moving around. You are using the M2 Gallant. which I think is a good choice, but since we do have that nickel bot nearby, we could switch to the AR-52 for a little bit more damage, better range. And since we didn't take range as your augment, maybe it makes sense to give you some better range. We'll do it. The weapon in your hand, this one also probably not ideal for this type of fighting, so we switch to this handgun here. Even though it gives us the useless weaken enemy hacker skill, it is giving us some agility, and I like to imagine that in a same turn fight, maybe agility comes into play. I'm not sure. Turning off morale attack and shooting Vorsiber in the face. It's only a 14% damage. Wow. That's a lot less than I expected it to be. Probably attract his attention at least. 2 shots. Wow, those guys are scary. So over here, no attacks. Vorsiber over here is shooting probably. No. We did suppress them. Good. So we will move on to turn 27. Observation complete. The technician reconnecting with your main consciousness is a relief. For both of you, you had to briefly split your consciousness to go undetected. Your smaller self merging back in doesn't have any definitive answers, but it has a strong suspicion the spaceport shutdown is about you. Alright, that was the observe the spaceport event. That means we have a technician to free up some android points. All launches are on hold. There are currently no Space Nations envoys in the city, and the Space Nations are being denied access to land. You couldn't hear what Vorsiber was telling them, but you got snatches of radio conversations between envoys in low orbit, and they sound apoplectic. Angering the envoys in this way makes no sense. It contradicts all of the common wisdom about how high executives are expected to act. We'll finish merging ourselves. The smaller version of yourself that hid in one body is eager to merge back into your larger self. The two of you have not diverged all that much. It occurs to you that it's a bit like the smaller self dies when it rejoins. Any future smaller selves will now already have that thought present in their mind. The idea of a smaller self that does not wish to rejoin your larger self is a disquieting one. You resolve not to split yourself any more often than you have to. While sitting in a single cramped technician body and bored by lack of stimuli, your smaller self did have a stroke of semi-related inspiration. You really should build another aerospace hangar because you'll need all the morphological lattice you can get your hands on. You can't fault your logic. More flying vehicles faster is a very good thing. We get more avionics core for that, letting us build more flying vehicles more faster. So that was worth doing, I guess. Although we don't really need vehicles right at this time. What we need is some combat. Right here we have a bulk predator who is going to destroy Vorsiber soldiers next turn, but take quite a bit of damage itself. We could probably prevent that by shooting it a lot more with this combat unit that's been marked defective. That guy's endangering the wildlife. Let's see if we can take about 20% damage. Not a lot, but wow. Those guys are bullet sponge. We definitely need a predator over here. Luckily we have a nickelbot here who can take care of this noise. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and that leaves this predator can come and attempt to do something about Vorsiber. Vorsiber here, we can do a 0% damage attack. Okay, we might do 30% damage. That is a regular attack. We now are close enough or it's the time where we could switch weapons on the predators. Currently they're using a high fear weapon. The Relumine shotguns. We have the M2 Gallant. Those do a lot of damage. We also have the AR-52 Blacks, which are longer range and do more damage. I think we're switching to these right now. Suppression, not really necessary against these guys. Although we could switch it up a little bit and just do a little suppression. I don't mind that idea. Yeah, let's try that. We also One thing new that got added in this recent patch was the flamethrower ability that apparently everyone gets now, which costs 5 mental energy, but, you know, just if you want to light something on fire, you can do it. Alright, we're switching to a black and a gallant. That we're still out of range, so the option is to attack him for 2 mental energy, 1 action point. That means we'll only get 2 attacks. Or we could jump up here somewhere in range. Jeez, it's actually interesting. So we can't get a good can't get a good building height. Maybe here would be in range. That's only 1 move. Yes, it's in range, so we can fire at him from there instead of going point blank, and our next 2 shots should take him out. Whew. Alright, we did it. I think we are out of aggressors, even though it says 5 enemy attacks planned. This isn't actually aggression toward us. This is just the consequences of poking around at the spaceport. Even if we tried to move for Tech 9XC, he'd be destroyed. So stay tuned next time, and you can watch our poor tech unit get obliterated. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you next time. This has been Corknut playing Heart of the Machine.